all. I'm also learning, but while doing so, I observed that the students take the programming or understand the programming in a wrong way. So that is what I understood. Okay. So let me clear those concepts, that what exactly is a programming and how one should look towards the programming. So that is our main concept behind this session. Okay. So first of all, try to understand the core philosophy. So core philosophy of programming. Okay. The first thing is that here uh, so programming is, it is not, first of all, what it is not. Let us clear it, what it is not. Okay, the not part of it, and then once the not is removed, then whatever remains is a programming. Okay, so the not part of it is that number one is not just uh, seeing the code seeing the code and writing it. Okay, it is not the programming. So this line itself clears everything, that what is not a programming. Now let us then, what is the programming? Okay, then what is the programming? So programming is actually a thinking. Okay, it's a thinking process. Okay, moreover, programming starts with a thinking. It starts with thinking. Okay, thinking, not any thinking, but it is logically thinking. Okay, not any way of thinking, it is logically thinking. And once the one you understand the logical part of the program, then it is very easy to convert that logical part, then converting that logical part into piece of code. Converting into piece of code. If that code then could be written in any language, that could be in C language or C++ language or Python language, any language you can write it. But once this concept is clear to you, then you can master or you can write the program in any language. Okay, so this part. Now here, the main structure, what should be the structure of a program? Typically, structure of program. Okay, the structure of program should have important three parts. Okay, so it should have three parts. First part is the a main function. A main function. What is a main function? A function which drives everything. Which drives everything. Okay, is a main function. So that function is like a, you can call this function as a manager who manages everything. So we must keep the main function as a manager, not as the doer. Okay, manager is a what? Manager gives the command, gives the instructions. It does a delegation. Okay, so main function must do a delegation. Okay, what is a delegation? Delegation is nothing but giving task to others. Task to others. Okay, who is suitable for doing that is a delegation task. So main function must be like a manager. Okay, then the second important part in the program should be a input function. Okay, what is the input function? So the input function will take, it will take all the necessary input, take all the necessary inputs. So that inputs must be taken in necessary data structure. Necessary data structure. Okay, so now you may have some students may have a doubt, then what is a data structure actually? Okay, so let us clear this important concept. What is a data structure? So data structure is nothing but a container. container for the data. Container for the data. So let us consider this with the analogy. Okay, some analogy. Like, have you? Do you know the cooking part? Cooking. So cooking means that here different things are required. So cooking is a process actually. It is a process of converting the raw food into the a food which is to be eaten. Okay, it is a process. It is a process of converting a raw food into a food which can be eaten, into a food which can be eaten. Process. Moreover, it is an algorithm, you can call this. So what is algorithm here in this case? Algorithm is a cooking. So all the process steps that converts the raw food into a food which is to be eaten is the algorithm, or you can call that algorithm as the programming language itself. So that programming language converts the raw food into a food to be eaten. Okay, so that cooking is a you can call this as algorithm or call it as a, in more detail, you can call this as a programming language. Now, so what is the input to this cooking? So cooking input is a raw food. All right. So raw food means the vegetables. All right. You have grains. All right. So all these things will be the input. Okay. So these are all input, raw food. What is the output of this? Output of this is a cooked food. Right. A cooked food is a output. And then, so along with this, in this cooking, we require some containers, isn't it? We require we require pots. Okay, steel pots, we require it. Okay, so what these pots does? So they keep the raw food for cooking. Also, they keep after food is cooked, then they are used to keep the cooked food, isn't it? So these pots are nothing but the data structure. Got it? So how much size of the pot is required? The size of the pot is dependent on the size of the vegetable. The vegetable, as the size of the vegetable increases, you need to increase the size of the pot. So, data structure is a one which contains this things. Okay, so you got the difference between the uh, thing that is, what is a data structure, what is a data. Data is in the form of input, and what is the output. Okay, so it has a main function, input function, which takes this data into a respective data structure. Now the next one, we have a processing function. Processing function. So what is a processing function? So processing function converts the input into output. Okay, so it converts in input into output by the way of the logic. So processing function involves all your logic. It contains all the logic. Getting a point? Now another function is there. You can call this as, there are now four parts. One is the main function, input function, processing function, and last one is the output function. Output function. What it does? It displays the output. Displays the output. So whenever you do a programming, always divide your program into four parts. Okay, a large program. Now you will be doing some large programs, isn't it? Some small programs part is done now. Now you will be doing large programs. So in that, your program must have these four parts. One is the a main function which drives everything, a input function which takes the input and returns back the input. Then it has a processing function which converts the input, or it takes the input and converts it to output and returns the output, and output function which displays the output. Okay, so the core structure of the program must be this. And once you understood this core structure, then your involvement is too much now into developing the processing function. Okay, So now how to develop the processing function so that it will convert the input into output. Okay, so now let us take with the example. Okay, let us all do this with the help of one small example. Now let us try to do that in a Python programming language. Okay, so what we have to do now, we have to develop, let's say,
Rahul sir,
sir. Yes, sir.
what you discussed,
Huh.
the process of writing the program, the structure.
Huh.
Now, this is common to all programming language,
Yes.
irrespective of language, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So, everyone understood. This is very important thing what sir has explained. How from input to output, how to write body and structure is same. Here you have to develop or you have to write your logic. So writing a program in a language, you are n number of language, but the main thing is that the structure, what the Rahul sir has explained. So once you understood this thing, irrespective of language, it is very easy for you to develop your logic. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes. Please
Yes,
continue.
sir. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Now let us develop an arithmetic calculator. Okay, it's a very simple program. But now how to develop it now, let's say. So don't develop it haphazardly. Think with the logic and present in a better presentation way. Now in the programming also, your presentation is also very important. How do you present it? Okay, so to develop the arithmetic calculator, let's say the calculations of let's say it will have, the calculator will have addition, subtraction. Let us comment all these parts first and then we'll write it. Okay. Now first of all, we'll have arithmetic operations like addition, subtraction, division, multiplication, then also integer division. Now some modulo operation, let's say modulo operation. Okay, so these operations to be done. Okay, addition, subtraction, division, multiplication, integer division, and modulo operation. So here all these requires how many inputs it requires. Now you got the things to be done. So now what is the thinking process? Now your thinking should start. Now start thinking, or moreover thinking in a logical way. Thinking in logical way. So how it should start? So number one is that I have to do now addition, subtraction, division, multiplication, integer, and these all operations. So how many inputs are required for this? So for addition, I require 2 inputs. For subtraction also I require 2 inputs. Division 2. Moreover, all the operation requires 2 inputs. And everyone gives only 1 output. Okay. So how many inputs are there? So we got the inputs that there are 2 numbers are the inputs. And what is the output? Output is a single number will be the output. Okay. So we got now the input and output. Now the next part is the uh, the processing function. Okay, so now here what we have to do, we have to do these operations, addition, subtraction, division. So are we doing it a choice based? So let us think about it. What is given? Okay, is it a choice based? If it is asked like develop an arithmetic calculator, or moreover it's a menu driven or choice based calculator. Not all the operations done at the same time, but it has to be menu driven or choice based. So if it is a choice based, then we will have to first accept the choice. Okay, if it is choice based, then accept first a choice, and based on the choice, perform the operation. Am I right? Okay, so here now you got the processing function. So this is how you have to do it. You don't start immediately programming. Don't start immediately programming. First of all, think कि हमें क्या पूछा गया है, हमें क्या पूछा गया है, हमारा इनपुट क्या है, आउटपुट क्या होना चाहिए, उसके हिसाब से हमारा प्रोसेसिंग फंक्शन क्या होना चाहिए. Okay, so now, so you got this. So now let us build now then program. Okay, so first of all it will have a main function, But right now in the Python program, we don't have a main function. In C programming or C++ programming, we have a main function. But anything written outside the any function is a part of main function in Python. Okay, so here the main function will be there. This is a main function that is outside any function. Okay, I'm just commenting it. Now let us write an input function. Okay, so input function. Okay, input. Okay, I'll just write the name of it as input. Okay, right now, so what is it is taking input? So it is taking input two numbers, isn't it? So first of all, then we will have to ask to the user enter numbers, isn't it? So our it is input A and B is equal to enter, or let's say A is equal to input enter first number, right? So we got the input, and in Python we know that the input by default is a string. So for example, if I take input from the keyboard, then whatever is entered is a by default string. So then we have to typecast it to integer. So how to typecast it? So type integer before this, because we are doing on integer numbers. Okay, so two numbers are taken. So A is taken. Similarly, we have to take B. So B is equal to int input enter second number. Right? So second number will be taken. Now here after this we have to take a choice. Okay, choice is also input. Okay, so choice is input, so that must come into an input function. So we have to take a choice. So first of all, then we'll have to print the menu. All right. So how to print the menu? So we have to display the menu. Okay. So here we can display it like this. So print. Okay. So menu. So let's do a little bit aesthetic of the program. So a good aesthetic always creates a good impression for examiner. Okay. We have to create a good aesthetic while writing a program. Okay. So print menu. So what is our first choice? Print one dot. So let's have the choice given in the number. So the first one is, let's say, addition operation. Okay, addition. So what is the let us copy this statement, so that control C, copy it, control V. Two number operation is subtraction. Subtraction. Third operation is multiplication. Fourth operation is division. So this way other operations can be added. So other operations like integer division, modulo operation, so these operations can be added. And at the end, so here some code will be there. Your some other operations codes will be there. Okay, so this code can be added. Then finally you will ask to the user enter your choice, print or input. Okay, enter your choice. So we are taking this as an input. So choice must be within the range of 1 to, let's say, that number. How many operations are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 operations are there. And let's say the last operation is 7 number is our exit. Okay, so that means we want to exit from the program. The seventh operation is exit. Okay, so here 1 to 7, within the 1 to 7 you have to enter your choice. Okay, so that has to be input. So let us take this as choice is equal to input, enter your choice, and this has to be typecasted to integer. So integer is typecasted. Now if the choice is not within that range, then what has to be given? It has to be given an error message if choice is not within the range of 1 to 7. Okay, if choice, that is 1, now how to compare it? The choice, it has to be within the range, that is 1 should be less than or equal to choice should be less than or equal to 7. It is within the range of 1 to 7. So how to do that in Python programming? You can do in Python programming like this. The same statement can be given. So if 1 is less than or equal to choice, less than or equal to 7, control X, control V. Okay, so this is taken. So this is called as validation of the input. Okay, so dear students, when you take an input, always do a validation of input. Is it a correct input? If it is not correct input, then don't give that input for processing. What will happen that if you give that input to processing, then the processing function will not understand that input and it will give erroneous output, isn't it? So how to do a validation of input? Then the input must be validated based on the our some constraints कि क्या होना चाहिए input. So that validation part must also be there. So what input should contain? Input should contain not only the input but also the validation part. Right? Have you got it? In industry, always it is asked to a validation of the input. If the validation is not done, then user may enter a wrong input and that may lead to complete failure of the software. And that these cases happens. So to avoid these cases, you have to do validation. Okay. So if it is not, okay. So if it is within this range, then what to do? So we have to return the our choice and the inputs. So how to return it? Because the input function is taking the input and returning the input. So we have to return the numbers A, B and choice. So these things we have to return. It is taking the inputs, it is taking a choice, and if it is within the range 1 to 7, it is returning a choice. Otherwise, what should be our message? Else our message should be print the choice is incorrect in the program. Okay. Or if you don't want to exit the program, then you can again run this menu again. So we'll see how to run that. Okay. So but let us consider that I have to exit the program. If the choice is not given correct, I have to exit it. Okay. So exiting the program. And once it is done, so we'll return some number which will end which will give the message to main function or to the manager that the choice is incorrect. Okay, so we'll enter here some number. Let's say we will return a b and let's say some 99. Okay, indicating that our input is incorrect. Okay, now so once it is, see here how input function is written. Have you understood the input function? Input function is taking the two numbers and the choice. And if the choice is within the range 1 to 7, then correct input and the choice are passed. And if it is not within the range, then the inputs are passed, but with the wrong, I mean, to the error message 99. Some number is we have taken. So 99 is, we have considered it, is for giving reply or giving message that exit the program to the manager. So we will call this, we will give this message to the manager. Now who is a manager? Manager is a main function. Okay, so the main function is calling the input function. Okay, so manager is calling input function. So it is calling, it is taking three inputs A, B, choice is equal to input. Okay, so input function is called by the manager. Okay, and once it is done, let's say we will display the output. Okay, or we will just print the A, B and choice. Okay, just for printing whether we are correct or not, and then we will go to the processing function. Okay, just our input is correct or not. Okay, now how to run it, this program? So this program, we have seen that this has to be done in Linux operating system and with the editor, and you have to go into terminal and you have to type the command and run the program. Okay, so right now I'm using the inbuilt Colab, Google Colab. It's a very good tool for Python development, moreover machine learning development and data science development. So I'm using Colab, and in the Colab it is run like this. Okay, so enter first number. Let's say first number is 4 Second number it is asking, let's say 5. It is asking now a choice. The choice is, let's say 7. No, sorry, let's say 3. Okay. So now here, so it is printing our 453. It is now correctly printed 453. All right. So now that means our input is correctly accepted by the input function, and it is properly giving to the main function or to the driver function. Okay. Now then our taking input is correct. Okay. Now we will have to call a processing function. Okay. So let's say a processing function, give the name to the processing function as calculator. Okay. So we'll call the calculator function with the input A, B and choice. And what it will return? It will return answer for my calculator or for my calculation. Okay. So now I have to write a calculator function. So how to write a calculator function? So let us write down def calculator. Okay. What inputs it is taking? The calculator function. It is taking first number A. You can give another name also to it. Okay. So these are passing parameters, and you can have another name to this also. It should not be the same name should be used. You can use another name also to it. A, B and choice. Okay. So this is taken as input. Now here, so what calculator has to do? So calculator has to do addition, subtraction, these operation based on the choice selected. So what is a choice? If choice, now then we have to compare it. If choice equal to 1, then what to do? We have to do addition, isn't it? So that means we have to return A plus B, addition of two numbers A plus B. Okay, it can be written directly in a one line. Since it is only a single statement, therefore in Python we can write that into single line itself. Okay, that's the beauty of Python programming, that you can write into the same line. So now if else if choice equal to 2, जर 2 असेल, 2 म्हणजे काय? Subtraction. So return A minus B. Okay. Else if choice equal to 3, then what to do? Return, that is, what is our operation? Third operation is division. Okay, so it is a real division. So A divided by B, return it. Else if choice equal to 4. So what to return here? We have to return the multiplication of numbers. So that is return A into B. Okay, so this is how you will add the code. Okay, so that means other operations codes can be added into this location. Getting a point? So this is how you have to build the processing function. Okay, once it is done, now here, so you got it will return the actual output of it, and answer we got it. So now here we need a so this is done through input function done through input function. This is done through processing function. And now finally we need to display the output. So let us display the output with the help of function, because what if now you have to here only display only one number, but sometimes the output has to be displayed very long. Then you need not write that into manager function. You should also have a different function for displaying the output. Okay, so let us call the function which displays the output, and let us call this as display output as a function. And what to display it here? Answer. Okay, so here we will have a function def display output, and here it is taking the number answer. Okay, and here just we have to print, and what we will print here, we will also print here print answer. Okay, and followed by actual our answer. Okay, so this just prints the single line. Okay, now so let us run this program. So it is now asking the first number 4, 5. It is asking a menu, that is what operation you have to do. let us do first operation 1. Okay, so it is giving answer 9. Okay, that is the addition of these two numbers, the answer is 9. Okay, now here it is doing only, see here, it is only doing one time. What if now it is asked that develop arithmetic calculator for doing it till user says it is not exit? So now we have to have a loop for it, isn't it? Because it is doing only one time. Here it is displaying the output. It is done through display function. Now here we have to do in number of ways, that is while. Okay, so we'll have a while loop for doing it a number of times. So let us have it as a while 1, and here while 1 means it is an infinite loop. Okay, so it has to be now inside the loop. Okay, in Python you do the indentation with the help of tabs. Remember that you should not use spaces, no spaces. If you use space, then it will give error. Okay, it has to be done with the help of tabs, tab like this, tab, no spaces. Okay, so it has to be done with the tab. So now select all these lines and it has to go inside the while loop, so place a tab. Okay, so now you see that these all go inside the this one. Here we'll have a choice. Now again we'll compare. If choice equal to 99 or choice equal to 7, that is exit, that is this exit, then what to do? So we should not call this. Okay, that means we should not call answer or calculator. This should must go into this one. So what we will do, we will write down not here. If choice not 99 or choice not 7, then call the calculator function and display the output. Otherwise, exit the program. Okay, so now here what this loop is doing, so this loop is making the program run for multiple times, making the program run multiple times. Okay, so now otherwise what we have to do, else part else part we have to break the loop, else break the loop. We don't want to continue the loop. Okay, else break the loop. Now let us run this program. Now here we have to write a colon here because it is a structure, so it has to be written colon. So now let us run it. So enter first number. So let us enter first number 6, 9. Now what operation to be done? Let's say I write subtraction. So it is giving subtraction 6 minus 9, 3. Again it is asking a first number and the second number. Okay, so let us have a numbers 3, 4. Now what operation you have to do? Let's say I have to do operation addition. So it is giving the answer 7. Now let's say the first number 7, 8. Now I want to, let's say, exit. So now it doesn't do the calculation, it exits the program. 7. Getting a point? So this is how you will write the program. So what we learned in this? Can we summarize it? Can anyone summarize it? What we learned? Any student? Any please talk so that you can even develop your communication skills, summarization skills. So even if it is not that complete, doesn't matter, but what we learned. Anyone? Mayur, can you summarize?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Sir, we actually learned like first we should develop the logic, what should be done, and then we should process the outcomes. And then we learn that how to means like we can do it with menu, or we can do it by choice. First of all, like we will print the menu like operations what we do, and take a choice of the user. Then with that choice, we will implement the block of code which will give us output.
Hmm. Very good, Mayur. Anyone other can add into it more, some more detailed into it? Yes, Pawan Kumar. Okay. So, you have you understood the philosophy of writing a program? Okay. So, don't directly start writing a program. First of all, understand the problem statement. Then find out which are inputs. So, for example, we have written. So, you have to take a paper. You have to take a when any a problem is given, you have to take a notebook. In that notebook, you have to write down what is the input. Okay. So, the input you have to write it. Then what is expected output? That output you have to write it. Okay. And then what is asked that you have to write down about a processing. So how we can do that? Now let us take another example, another simple example, like uh, finding out whether the entered year is a leap year or not. Okay, it's a, let's say this problem is given to you now. Given, let's say problem statement is like this: given a year, find out whether whether it is leap year or not. Simple problem statement. Now here, then what is your thought process? Your thought process should start like this. What is my input? So input is my year. Okay, year. Okay, so year also in what is the input? In how many digits? Let's say it is 4-digit input. Okay, 4-digit number. Okay, it is the input. For example, 1999 or it is 2022. Okay, so these could be the input. Okay, year is 1999, 2022. So this is given as input. Okay. Now what is my output? Now I have to find out whether it is leap year or not. So my output is that either yes, that means if it is a leap year, or no, if it is not leap year. Okay. Yes, or you can call this as true output. True. Yes, it is leap year. Or it could be no, or you can call this as false. False output. True output should be given when it is leap year. And no output should be given when it is not a leap year. All right. So now you got cleared input and output. Now the next comes the processing function. Processing function. So now for processing function, you need a logic. To develop this, you need logic. Okay. So now what is a logic? How to find out whether a year is leap year or not? Okay. So the logic is like this. Logic means a way of finding out, or a way of determining whether it is a leap or not. The steps. Okay. So let's say given a year, if that year, if the year is not century year. Century year. So what do you mean by not century year? Means all the years which are century years. Century years means 1900, 1800. These are all century years. 1800. 2000 or 2100. So these will be all century years. But if this year is not century year, okay, so that means it is not like this, and divisible by 4, then it is leap year. Okay. Otherwise it is not leap year. All right. If year is century year, that is it is 1800, 1900, like this. Example is like this, and it is divisible by 400. If it is divisible by, now if it is non-century year, it should be divisible by 4, and if it is a century year, then it must be divisible by 400. Then it is leap year. Otherwise it is not leap year. Right? So now we got the logic. Okay, so now this logic we have to implement it with the help of processing function. So now let us run it. First of all, let us comment out this our algorithmic part. Okay. Now we have to take input. Okay, so we have input function def input. Okay, and what in this will take? It will take the year. Okay, so year is equal to input enter year for checking leap year. So enter the year, and since the input by default in the Python is string, we have to convert it or typecast it to integer. So integer. Okay, and once year is done, we have to just return year. Okay, so that year is written. Now now we have a main function or driving function. So a main function. So what it will do? It will call the our input function. Okay, so year is equal to take input or input. Okay, so input is called, and here we also should have some validation. Okay, if anyone gives a wrong input, for example, if it is given negative number, so negative cannot be the year. All right, so if wrong input, we should have a validation here. Add validation part for wrong input. Someone enters a negative number. What if someone enters only the alphanumeric numbers? It contains alphabets. Then what to do for that? So that validation part must come into acceptance of that input. Okay. Now, but right now you don't worry about validation part. Once you are very comfortable with your building logic and everything, then you have to add these parts. This is not a starting part. This is a mastery part. This comes when you are mastered in writing programs. Then you go for validation. Okay, because then you will understand that how to do for validation of alphanumeric numbers, how to do a validation for negative numbers, all these things. Okay, but remember that we have to add a validation part here in the input. Okay, now, so once year is done, so we have to call the function which will check whether it is leap year or not. So how to call the function? So we have to add answer is equal to check. Let's say name of the function is check leap year. Okay, and pass the year to it. Okay, and based on the answer, we have to print the display the output. Okay, so now here we have another function def check leap year, and here year is passed. Now, what is the here the logic is this: if year is not century year and divisible by 4, let us copy this logic and let us put it here into our, and we will implement it with the help of programming statements. Okay, so the logic is like this. Control V. So how to check it whether it is divisible by 4 or not? What is a way of checking it? So it is using a mod function. So by mod function, what we get? We get a remainder. If we have a number and if it is divisible by 4, then we get a remainder 0. That means if year mod 100, now we have to check it whether for century year. So century means 100 ने त्याला divisible आहे की नाही. जर तो 100 ने divisible नसेल, if year mod 100, if not year mod 100, then what to do? We have to check it if it is divisible by 4. Inside it, again we have to check it if year mod 4 equal to 0. If year mod 100 equal to 0. If not, if it is not century year, if year mod 100 equal to 0 means century year. Year mod 100 equal to 0 means century year, and not century year means not is added to it. If it is not century year, and if it is that year is divisible by 4, or if it is divisible by 4, then what we have to do? We have to return yes or true. So that means return true. Otherwise, what to return? Otherwise, what to return? Else and false. Otherwise, it is not a leap year. So how to return that not a leap year? Return false. It's like a binary number indicating yes or no. True means the value 1, false means value 0, just like you learnt in DELD, digital electronics. True means 1, false means 0. Okay, so here returning no, false. Now other part of it. So we have implemented first line by this. So the first line, so this first line is implemented by this logic. Got it? So this is the first line. Now we have to implement the second line. So how to implement the second line? So this is the second line that we have to implement it. Here it will come into, let's say this line is to be implemented now here. So here what will have chunk, if it is not century year, so else part will automatically will have it is a century year automatically. If it is not century year, then you are going inside it, and if it is century year, it will become false, so it will come into else part. So automatically we have come into the century year part. And here अब क्या करना है हमें? If it is century year and divisible by 400, so how to check it whether it is divisible by 400? So if year mod 400 equal to 0, then it is divisible by 400. Then what we have to do? It is a leap year, so we have to return true. Else return false. Getting a point? So this is how we have implemented our logic. So first of all, you need to clear that what is my logic, and then that logic can be converted into a programming statement. Once your this line is not correct, first of all you must understand, you must come out with this line कि मेरा लॉजिक क्या होना चाहिए, फिर उस लॉजिक को हम कोड में कन्वर्ट कर सकते हैं. So this is a code for that logic. For example, now this is a logic, a statement of that logic, and then converting that into code. So this is a code. Getting a point? Now here we have to display the output. So display the output, again we need to call the function. So display output, and here answer. Okay, so here let us call def display output, and here we will take answer and year as input. Okay, let us take year is also as input. Okay, printing that year is leap year or not. Okay, now here if answer equal to true, मतलब क्या है? ट्रू है, मतलब क्या है? वो लीप ईयर है. So here we have to print the output, print or display the output, the year, let's say that year we have to display the value. So how to display that value? So you can display like this in Python. So year, that is a variable. It's a year is a variable, and I want to display the value of the variable. So in Python it is done like this, display the value of the variable. But before that we have to do a formatting of this. So we have to add F to it. So that becomes the formatting. So now year is not considered as a string, but it is considered as the variable to be printed. So the year is a leap year. Okay. Else what it will come? Else print the year is not a leap year. Copy this code. The year is not a leap year. Right. So now we got a main function. So we have got input, we have got check leap year, we have a display output. Now let us run this code. So it is asking enter a year for checking leap year. So let us enter a year 1998. So it is not a leap year because it is not a century year, first of all, and also it is not divisible by 4. So let us see what is the output. So the year 1998 is not a leap year. You got it? The year 1998. So that the year 1998 or the year, what is the output? Year is not a leap year. Now let's say we have to run this infinitely till the user says continue, continue, continue. Do you want to continue? Do you want to continue? If he says yes, then continue it. Okay. So we'll have it, make it run infinitely or run till the not user exited. So how to do that? So we did in a previous program. So we added a loop for it. Okay. So add a loop. So while. Okay. So while 1. So making it infinite. So this code must go inside the loop. So let us go add the tab to it. So that goes inside the loop. And now here we will ask the choice. This is equal to input. We will ask to the user, dear user, do you want to continue? We are asking a question. The user must answer it as yes, Y, or N. Okay, in capital or in small. Y or N. Anything. Okay, capital Y, capital N, or small y, small n. Okay, so we are giving the input also to them कि नहीं क्या input देना है आपको. Okay, so that there should not be any error in giving the input. तो हम अगर हम compare करेंगे if choice is not, what? Choice equal to n, or let's say y, or choice equal to y, small y, capital Y or small y, we have to continue. Okay, so we have to continue the loop. And if it is not this, any other than this, if it is not y or not y, then what we have to do? We have to break the loop. Otherwise continue the loop. So for example, instead of user says yn के बजाय उसने जैसे abc डाल दिया, तो a और b डालने के बाद वो y से कंपेयर नहीं होगा, तो वो ऑटोमेटिकली एग्जिट हो जाएगा. मतलब रॉन्ग इनपुट के लिए वो एग्जिट हो जाएगा. ओके, सो नाउ लेट अस रन इट. So let us enter a year 2000. Okay, so 2000 is a century year. At the same time, it is divisible by 400. So it has to be a leap year. So what is output? So the year is 2000 is a leap year. And it is asking, dear user, do you want to continue? Yes, I want to continue. So again, it is asking, enter year for checking the leap year. Let's say it is 2001. It is not a leap year. So it is year is not a leap year. So here, let's say I enter some A choice. A means मैंने पूछा था yn और yn डालिए, उसने डाला a, ओके, यूजर ने, तो ऑटोमेटिकली इट विल कम out of the loop. Okay, so it is not continuing. Getting a point? So here, this is how you have to do the programming. So have you understood this part? So what is the takeaway for this summary? Summarize this second code. Anyone can summarize it?
Yes, sir.
हाँ, कौन करता है? आदित्य कौन करता है? नाव का है ऋतिक। हाँ चला, हाँ ऋतिक प्लीज डू इट। हाँ
सर सबसे पहले सर अपने जिस ईयर को चेक करना है उसका अपने इनपुट लिया कि कौन सा ईयर है, वो अपने इनपुट डालेंगे। उसके बाद सर अपने अपना अपना लॉजिक बनाया कि अगर वो जो अपना ने ईयर डाला है अगर वो सेंचुरी ईयर नहीं है और वो डिविजिबल बाय 4 है तो वो होगा लीप ईयर, और नहीं तो एल्स पार्ट में होगा अगर वो सेंचुरी ईयर है और वो 400 से डिविजिबल है तो वो लीप ईयर होगा। सर उसको अपने फिर एग्जीक्यूट किया कोड में।
सही बात है। तो फिर ये हमने ये बनाया लॉजिक और उसको फिर कोड में कन्वर्ट कर दिया।
हाँ जी सर।
तो वो आना चाहिए आपको। लॉजिक को कोड में कैसे कन्वर्ट करते हैं वो आना चाहिए। तो वो कैसे करेंगे? वो प्रैक्टिस से आता है, वो तुरंत नहीं आता है। और वो कब आएगा? जब आप किसी अब ये आदत कैसे लगेगी आपको? पहले लॉजिक बनाओ, लॉजिक बनाने के बाद उसको कोड में कन्वर्ट करो और फिर उसको डालो। अगर आप देख देख के प्रोग्रामिंग करेंगे, फॉर एग्जाम्पल आपके टीचर ने आपको बताया है ऐसे प्रोग्राम करना है, तो आपके पास उसका कोड है नोटबुक में, या फिर आपको बताया, आपको उसके मोबाइल में स्क्रीनशॉट है, और आप देख देख के अगर वो टाइप करेंगे तो आपका लॉजिक बिल्डअप नहीं होगा, वो आपको आदत बन जाएंगे। यू विल बिकम स्लेव। हमें स्लेव नहीं बनना है, हमें मास्टर बनना है। तो मास्टर कैसे बनेंगे? जब हम प्रैक्टिस करेंगे, सही दिशा में प्रैक्टिस करेंगे। सही दिशा में अभी कौन सी दिशा है? सही सही दिशा ये है कि प्रोसेसिंग हमारा जो है उसका लॉजिक बना, और उस लॉजिक को कोड में कैसे कन्वर्ट करते हैं उसको कोड में कन्वर्ट करो। और हर एक ऐसे लिखो लॉजिक। यहाँ पे मैंने लॉजिक लिखा है, वैसे आप भी लिखो। इफ द ईयर इज नॉट सेंचुरी ईयर एंड डिविजिबल बाय 4 देन इट इज लीप ईयर। तो उसको कैसे कन्वर्ट करेंगे? तो उसको मैंने ऐसे कोड लिखा। तो ऐसे आप लिखो, या ऐसे आप नोटबुक में भी लिखो आपके, आप ऐसे लिखते जाओ। जब भी आपको समय हो, आपके पास कंप्यूटर नहीं है, डजेंट मैटर, आप प्रोग्रामिंग नोटबुक पे भी कर सकते हैं। हमने हमारी सारी इंजीनियरिंग की प्रोग्रामिंग नोटबुक में की है। हमारे पास कंप्यूटर नहीं था, तब कंप्यूटर बहुत महंगा था और हमारे पास इतने पैसे भी नहीं थे कि कंप्यूटर खरीद सके। पर हम क्या करते थे? फिर हम नोटबुक में प्रोग्रामिंग करते थे, और नोटबुक में लिखा हुआ हमारा प्रोग्राम अगर किसी ने टाइप किया और हमने टाइप किया और गलत आया, ऐसे होता ही नहीं था, वो सही आउटपुट ही देगा। सही बात समझ में आ गई? अभी आपको क्या डाउट है? अब लेट अस कम टू योर डाउट्स नाउ। अभी मैंने कोर फिलोसॉफी आपको बता दी, अब आपके डाउट्स क्या है? आप पूछिए, सो दैट आई कैन आंसर दैट। आपको कोई तो डाउट होगा कि सर हम आगे कैसे बढ़े। ये तो हो गया। अब आपको ये तो पता चल गया आगे कैसे बढ़ना है। अब आपके जो भी प्रोग्राम है, लेट्स से डेटा स्ट्रक्चर के प्रोग्राम से, तो डेटा स्ट्रक्चर के प्रोग्राम में आपको लेट्स से ये बताया गया, आपको प्रॉब्लम स्टेटमेंट दिया गया और उसको बताया गया कि उसका लॉजिक क्या है, मतलब वो करने के लिए बोला, तो आप कैसे करेंगे? लेट्स से ना, अब मैं एक आपको प्रॉब्लम स्टेटमेंट देता हूं, आप क्या करिए, आप उसका लॉजिक बनाइए पेपर पे और स्क्रीनशॉट पे डालिए। मैं देखता हूँ कौन कौन कर सकता है, जिस जैसे लॉजिक ही बनाइए सिर्फ उसका। ओके, मैं आपको एक प्रॉब्लम स्टेटमेंट देता हूँ। ये आपके डेटा स्ट्रक्चर में है, डेटा स्ट्रक्चर लैब में। दिस इज असाइनमेंट, डेटा स्ट्रक्चर लैब इसमें है। सो द you have to create a magic square. Okay, magic square. अब मैजिक स्क्वायर होता क्या है? लेट अस अंडरस्टैंड इट। ओके, मैजिक स्क्वायर ये है कि इट इज अ n by n मैट्रिक्स, n by n मैट्रिक्स where n is odd, n is odd, मतलब वो 3 by 3 मैट्रिक्स, 5 by 5 मैट्रिक्स, 7 by 7 मैट्रिक्स और 9 by 9 मैट्रिक्स ऐसे होता है. ओके, सो लेट अस अज्यूम दैट आवर इनपुट n इज 3. और अब नाउ व्हाट इज अ मैजिक स्क्वायर? सो मैजिक स्क्वायर मैट्रिक्स इज व्हाट in which sum of rows, sum of columns, individual columns, sum of individual rows, sum of columns, or sum of diagonals are same. This is called as magic square. Now, for example, we have a 3 by 3 matrix. So let us initialize the 3 by 3 matrix. Initially, it has all the values 0, 0, 0, 0. So this is another value 0, 0, 0. ये हमारा इनिशियल मैट्रिक्स है 0, 0, 0. अब मैजिक स्क्वायर मैट्रिक्स कैसे बनाते हैं हम? 3 by 3 है तो हमें कितने नंबर इनपुट करने हमें? सो 1 to n into n, ये नंबर हमें इस मैट्रिक्स में डालने हैं. दैट इज वी हैव टू पुट 1 to 9. 3 into 3 is 9. सो 1 to 9 नंबर्स हमें इस मैट्रिक्स में इस तरह से डालने हैं जिससे रोज की सम, सारे रोज की सम एक हो, सारे कॉलम्स की सम एक हो और सारे डायगोनल्स की सम भी एक हो. Okay, so how to do that? So the logic is like this. So you start from the first row and the middle of the column, or you can even start from the last column and the middle of the row, or you can also start from the first column and the middle of the row. Also you can start it, or from last row and middle of the column. So that also you can start it. Okay, anything, that is you can start from here 1, or you can start from here 1, or you can start from here 1, or you can also start from here. Okay, any position you can start it. Okay, so here let us start from this position. Okay, so now initially my all elements are 0. Okay, अब next number हमें place करना है. Now 1 is placed, so we have to place next number. Next number is now 2. Next number is 2 that we have to place onto this board. Let us assume that this is a chess board and that we have to place the second number called as 2. So chess में कैसे होता है? How horse moves? So it moves 2.5. Right? 2.5 घर चलता है. तो हमें क्या करना है इसमें? 2.5 घर नहीं चलना है, हमें 1.5 घर चलना है. So our next number moves in 1.5. 1.5 पोजीशन चलना है. और इसको हम, ये जो बोर्ड है, ये बोर्ड सर्कुलर है. मतलब क्या है? हम अगर इसके ऊपर चले गए, इसके ऊपर चले गए यहाँ पे इस पोजीशन पे, जैसे ये पोजीशन है. सो दिस इज अबव पोजीशन. लेट्स से आई रिप्रेजेंट इट एज डैश. दिस इज अबव पोजीशन. लेट्स से दिस पोजीशन इज अ राइट पोजीशन. लेट्स से दिस पोजीशन. This position is, let's say, the left position. हम अगर यहाँ पे आ गए, और let's say this position is the down position. Let's say this position. Okay. अगर मैं 1.5 घर चलना है मुझे, तो 1.5 घर चलना है मतलब क्या? मुझे यहाँ से यहाँ आना पड़ेगा, पहले एक ऊपर आना पड़ेगा, और मतलब 1.5 घर ऊपर चलना है. ऊपर मतलब कोई भी 1.5 घर नहीं, मतलब यहाँ से लेकर 1.5 नहीं, ऊपर जाना है पहले. So go 1 up row and go to the right. Okay, so this number, this place. Okay, so next moves 1.5. How to do that? That is go 1 row up and go to right. Okay, that is called 1.5 move. So we went 1 up and go to the right. So we come to this location. So this location is not present into this board. So this position is as good as the end position, this position. So because these are circular. Okay, so that means this position that is out of the board is the last position onto that. So we will put 2 here. Now we have to place the next number 3. So to place 3, go 1 up this and go to the right. So go to the right means we come to this position which is out of the board. So that means this position 3. Now to place the next number 4, go 1 up and go to the right. So we come to 1. So 1 is already placed. So if number is already placed, then you have to put the number, next number, from where we started placing the number. So we started from here 3, उसके नीचे हमें place करना है. So 4 is placed here. Now हमें अब 5 place करना है. So 5 place करने के लिए start from this, that is go 1 up and go to the right, that is 5. हमें 6 place करना है, that is go 1 up and to the right, so 6. हमें 7 place करना है, so that is go 1 up, so that is we come here, that is we come here, and go to the right, that means we come here, that means we come here. But it is already filled. If it is already filled, then we have to place the number from where we started, just below that. So that is from here we started, so just below that, that is 7. Now we have to place the next number 8, so go 1 up and go to the right. Okay, so that is this 1 up and go to the right, that means we come here, so it is out of the board, so that means this position, that is this 8. Now we have to go 1 up, that is this position, and go to the right, that is this position. First of all, go 1 up, that is this position, so this is the last position, so this is the last position, that means come here and go to the right, that is this, so 9. So this is how we placed all the numbers. So now let us take a sum of this. So 8 plus 1 is 9, plus 6 is 15. So this value is 15. Similarly, this 3 plus 5 plus 7, we got this as 15. 4 plus 9, 13 plus 2 is 15. So see, the sum of all the rows is same. Sum of all the columns. See, 8 plus 3 is 11, plus 4 is 15. So we see that it is 15. Similarly, it is 1 plus 9 is 10, plus 5 is 15, and 6 plus 7, 13, plus 2 is 15. Even we see diagonal. See, diagonal 8 plus 5 is 13, plus 2 is 15. So diagonal is also coming 15. And see this diagonal also, 6 plus 5 is 11, plus 4, 15. So this diagonal is also coming 15. Getting a point? So this is the magic square. Suppose now if it is a 5 by 5. So what will be the 5 by 5? So it will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and initially value 0. This is 0. And let us take these are out of bounds values. When outside the boundary. So this is outside the boundary. And this is. All right. So we start initially from the middle first row, that is this row, and the middle of the column. So middle of the column is this. So we start from here. So now to place the next number, go 1 up, that is we come here and go to the right. So that is 2. Next number, go 1 up, go to the right, that is 3. Next number 4, go 1 up and go to the right, that is this, that means come here, 4. Go 1 up, that is this, and go to the right, that is 5. Go 1 up, that is this, and go to the right, 1 is already placed. So place the next number just below of the previous number, so that is 6. Now to place 7, go 1 up, go to the right, that is 7 here. That is 8 number, go 1 up, go to the right, that is this, 8. Now to place 9, go 1 up, that means we come here and go to the right, that is this, so that is 9. Now to place 10, go 1 up, go to the right, that is this, so come here, that is 10. Now to place next number 11, go 1 up to the right, is already placed, therefore just below, that is 11. So below of 10 is 11. Now to place the next number, go 1 up, go to the right, that is 12. Next number 13. Next number 14. Next number 15. Now next number 16 to be placed. That is 1 up, that is this, and go to the right, that is this. So we come here, it's already filled, therefore 16 here. Now 17, go 1 up, that is this, and go to the right, that is this, so here, so 17. Now 18, so that is this one, that is here, and up, and that is this, and go to the right, so that is 18. Now 19, this. Now 20, this. 21 is already filled here, therefore 21 here. 22. Now 23, 1 up and to the right, that is this, so here. 23. 24, go 1 up, that is this. 25 last, go one up, that is this, and go to the right, this 25. So we placed all the numbers, and if we take a sum of all the rows, sum of all the columns, it comes out to be the same. Now you got the logic. Now put that logic in English statement. अब उसको English statement में लिखो और उसका code लिखो at the same time and take a snapshot of it and put it into a chat box. उसको करके दिखाओ मुझे. Okay, see here how you can do this now. So we got the concept clear that what exactly is a magic square. Am I audible to everyone?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now, so we got the logic, that is, we have to take an input. So what is the input in our case? So we understood that first of all, when the problem statement is given, we have to first think about input. So input is a number or size of matrix, or you can call this as size of matrix, and that has to be odd. Okay, the number has to be odd. And what is the output? Output is a magic square matrix is the output. We also got the processing, the hints of the processing. So what is that? So we have to initially start place. We have to, how many elements we have to place? We got it. So we have to place number from 1 to कितने number place करना है? n into n, where n is the size. इतने number हमें place करने. A number n, that is the input. इतने number हमें place करने. We have to place these many numbers onto the matrix. अभी initial position क्या होगी उसकी? Initial position. So initial position of starting placing the number is, initial position is first row and middle of column. ये पता चल गया हमें, ये starting position. Middle of column. तो ये हो पता चल गया. Now that is the how to place now next number. To place next number, what we have to do? We have to go one row up. Okay, so let's assume that how to identify the position in a matrix. How do you identify position in a matrix? Let's say this is a position. How do you identify it? So it means it is row number 0 and column number is n by 2, isn't it? Where n is the size of the matrix. So in this case, it will be n is now 3. So 3 divided by 2 is 1. Okay, it's an integer division. So it is 1. So that means it is 0th row and the first column, you can call it. Okay, in this case. Okay, so how do you identify the position? So initial position. So what is initial position? Means row equal to 0, row number is 0, and what is the column number? Column number is n. N is a size divided by 2. Okay, 2 times division because we want integer division in Python. So it is an integer division. Okay, now to place next number, what we have to do? So we have to do 2 tasks. Number 1, what is the task? We have to go 1 row up. Means क्या करना है हमें? यहाँ से ऊपर जाना है. मतलब क्या रो क्या बनेगा यहाँ पे? रो जो भी था उसका एक रो माइनस कर दिया कि हम यहाँ पे आते हैं. So that means go 1 row up means what? Row is equal to row minus 1. Row minus 1. और उसके बाद क्या करना है हमें? What is the second task we have to do? We have to go 1 column right. उसके बाद जाने के बाद ऊपर जाने के बाद हमें लेट्स से यहाँ पे हम आए और उसके राइट में जाना है, तो यहाँ पे जाना है. तो यहाँ पे जाने के लिए 1 column to the right. So हम कैसे आएंगे? Column is equal to column plus 1. आगे गए तो हम column बढ़ जाएगा. ये हो गया लॉजिक, डेड का लॉजिक. नाउ ये 1.5 का लॉजिक हो गया. टू प्लेस नेक्स्ट नंबर मीन्स 1.5 मूव. दिस इज 1.5 मूव का लॉजिक हो गया. अब हमें और एक प्रॉब्लम है यहाँ पे. अगर ये ऊपर जाता है, यहाँ पे जाता है, यहाँ पे जाता है, तो हमें कहाँ आना है? यहाँ पे आना है, लास्ट में आना है. तो ऊपर जाता है मतलब क्या हो जाता है? ये रो वैल्यू 0 है. यहाँ पे आ गया मतलब क्या हो गया? रो वैल्यू क्या हो गई? -1. दैट मीन्स इफ माई, यहाँ पे अगर रो होते समय इफ माई रो बिकम्स -1, तो हमारा रो क्या बनना चाहिए? देन रो इज इक्वल टू द लास्ट वैल्यू. सो व्हाट इज द लास्ट वैल्यू ऑफ द रो? जितना हमारा n है, ये n जितनी साइज है इसकी, n-1 विल बी द लास्ट रो. ओके, सो दैट मीन्स रो विल बी माई n-1. अब यहाँ पे भी एक है कि अगर ये कॉलम यहाँ पे आ गया, लेट्स से ये इस पोजीशन पे आ गया राइट करते समय, तो हमें कहाँ जाना है? इस पोजीशन पे जाना है, फर्स्ट कॉलम पे जाना है. तो अगर माई कॉलम, इफ माई कॉलम इज लास्ट, दैट इज इफ इट इज n, यहाँ पे वैल्यू 0 है, यहाँ पे 1 है, यहाँ पे 2 है, यहाँ पे आया मतलब वैल्यू 3 हो गई. सो इफ 3 इज वैल्यू देयर, दैट मीन्स इफ कॉलम इज n, then my column should be equal to what? 0, फर्स्ट कॉलम. ये हो गया. हाँ, अब ये 2 लॉजिक हो गए. अब नाउ थर्ड लॉजिक. थर्ड इज दैट अगर वो ऑलरेडी प्लेस्ड है, फॉर एग्जाम्पल नाउ वी हैव टू प्लेस 1 एंड वी हैव टू प्लेस 2, सो वी गो 1 अप, दैट इज वी कम हियर एंड वी गो टू द हियर 2. नाउ वी हैव टू प्लेस 3, वी गो 1 अप एंड टू द राइट, दैट मीन्स दिस वी कम हियर 3. नाउ टू प्लेस 4, we have to go 1 up and to the right, but it is already placed. If it is already placed, then we have to place the next number at the down of the from where we started. Okay, so that means if the place is already filled, then place the next number just below from where we started. इसका लॉजिक लिख के दिखाओ मुझे.